So Anna's asked me very kindly to explain why I write poetry, and I think the answer to this question is I write to be close to the world, to be close to the the aliveness of the world and the aliveness of myself, and it's just a way to pay attention to that, and being kind of holding language in a certain way just allows me to pay attention to things that happen around me. Whether it's on the street, maybe it's just looking at a tree, or I think the quality of poetry, or what it means to hold poetry in your life, is really to just look at things, not much more, or look into things, but into the essential quality or qualia or whatever it is of that thing, rather than the structure of the thing. And I think that works for all art forms, really. It's not especially unique to poetry. Poetry enables this, I think, more because it's you don't need much. You don't need a studio. You don't need like endless materials and stuff. So you can carry your form with you anywhere you go. But the other thing I think that draws me to poetry is because there is a love of language that I kind of hold. But I think there's a fallacy built into the language, that kind of this idea of trying to understand and describe things and kind of translate reality into this abstract sort of system that is meant to sort of reflect or mimic reality. And I think it fails to convey a lot of what it does, or it conveys only the structures of reality in these very abstract forms. And I think what poetry allows is a way to pay reverence to that love, to that sort of strange kind of intellectual abstraction, while simultaneously defying it, rejecting the literality of language and rejecting this everyday abstraction that we don't acknowledge as abstraction. But through poetry you can abstract it even further, to the point that it begins to like break down the actual systems and structures of language and how we consider them to pay some kind of truth to the world around us. And I think by poetry abstracting itself to a more absurdist kind of way, it begins to break down the language, and it kind of returns us in a way to a sort of deeper sense of truth, a more ungraspable, ephemeral something. And I think that sort of deeper, ungraspable, ephemeral sort of thing is what I see to be the most central and most important aspect of life, or my life, or just that quality of being and living. And poetry is a way that I can swim in that. So that's why I write, I guess. And also to hang out and meet wonderful Sunseekers. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you, Anna, for inviting me.